Welcome. In this playthrough Marvel Champions card game, we have Hawkeye teaming up with Spider Woman going up against Zola in Scenario 4 of The Rise of the Red Skull. So for our scenario, having defeated Taskmaster, you learn that Hydra has not only captured New York City, but all of the United States. It was the mad scientist Arnim Zola who built a machine to harness the power of the reality gem and tip the balance of power in Hydra's favor. He has created a research station for himself on Ellis Island and turned the historic port into a nightmarish prison for his unfortunate test subjects. Taskmaster was ordered to bring the heroes he captured there for experimentation. This upside-down America, you're the only hope the captives have to escape a horrible fate. So for our villain deck, we have Zola 1 and 2. So he's going to have a scheme of 2, attack of 1, and retaliate, starting with 12 health per player. And steps up his attack a little bit in version 2. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the test subject side scheme and reveal it. For our main schemes, he's got 2, the Island of Dr. Zola and the Mad Doctor. And for setup, search the encounter deck for Hydra Prison and reveal it. Each player searches the encounter deck for a copy of the Ultimate Bio Servant and puts it into play, engage with them, and shuffle the encounter deck. So Hydra Prison, when revealed, each player searches their deck, discard pile in hand for a hero-specific ally and places it face down beneath the scheme. Place X threat on the scheme where X is the total cost of allies beneath it. Each player shuffles their deck. Then when defeated, remove the scheme from the game and return each ally beneath it to its owner's hand. So for Hawkeye, we have Mockingbird. So that's going to be 3 threat. In Spider Woman, we have Captain Marvel, so another 4. So this will be starting with 8 threat on it. Then each of our heroes will be starting with an Ultimate Bio Servant. Scheme of 1, attack of 1, 4 health. Come in with toughness. They get +1 attack for each attachment on it. And their boost gives the villain a tough status card. Then on the flip side, got 6 threat per player, so up to 12. Force response, after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place 1 test counter here. Then if there are 3 or more test counters here, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player, and remove 3 test counters from here. And then for our heroes, we have Hawkeye with a 4-1, attack of 2, defense of 1. Quick draw is an action exhaust him to ready his bow. Hence has a 5 and 9 health. On his alter ego side, recovery of 3, weapon of choice. As an action, spend 1 resource of any type, search your deck and discard pile for his bow and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck in a hand size of 6 on this side. We have the basic recovery upgrade. So we're getting an additional 4 hit points and +1 recovery. And we have some adrenal stems. It's a hero action, discard this card, remove it from the campaign log, ready your hero and heal 5 damage from him. And then Spider Woman, 1 for thwart, attack, and defense. Superhuman agility is an interrupt. When you play an aspect card, she gets +1 thwart, attack, and defense until the end of the round. Limit once per round for each aspect, and hand size of 5, 11 hit points. Alter ego, recovery of 3. It's a double agent. We're using 2 aspects for her, and I've chosen Justice and Protection for this one. I'll go over deck construction at the end of the video. And as an action, look at the top card of any deck and a hand size of 6 on this side. She's got a basic thwart upgrade, giving her +2 hit points and +1 thwart, and a laser cannon if needed. As a hero action, discard the top card and remove it from the campaign log. Deal 5 damage to the villain and each enemy engage with you. So now to finish our setup, so I've got the encounter deck shuffled. For Clint, I'll go over deck construction at the end of the video. Moving him over to aggression just to see how that works with him. So starting with 6 cards. All right, we've got Elektra, Quinn Carrier. It's a good first turn card. Relentless Assault, Endurance, Valkyrie, and another Relentless Assault. And since I know I'm going to play those, I will pitch these just to see what else I can get. And that's not going to change any of my decisions. Then for Jessica Drew, Justice and Protection. 6 cards. So Finesse is a keeper. Energy barrier, energy. All right, those are a keeper. Agent Coulson and strength. And while I really would like to get Agent Coulson out, it's not going to work for me first turn. And those aren't going to help much either. So Clint is going to go looking for his bow. Found that, so that's going to give us +1 attack, and each of our arrow upgrades gains the ranged keyword, and ranged attacks ignore retaliate. So we're going to go ahead and put that in play. Flip on over, and we paid for that with this resource. Then we're going to put in the Quinn Carrier for 3. Play only if we're an Avenger. Excelsis, generate a wild resource. Then Electra will come in and swing for 3 to get rid of toughness. Then Hawkeye will swing for 3. We'll use her ability to look the top card. Seeing we're getting a boost coming in. Then flip over. Well, so many tough decisions. I can bring him in and pretty much take care of the threat on there, but I don't want to give this up to do that. So we're bringing in Finesse. It's a hero resource. Excelsis, generate a wild resource for an aspect card. Well, I guess I can still work in Spider-Man here. Giving up the energy barrier. But oh well. So he's going to cost 5. We can use this for 1 since he's a Justice aspect. There's his other 4. After you play him from your hand, remove 3 threat per player from a side scheme. So we can take 6 off of this. Down to 2. But getting those cards in our hand right now isn't going to help us that much. So we'll have him attack for 2 over here. And she will attack to get rid of toughness. And ending her turn. So we've got some resource production turn 1 and an ally out. Not bad. So 5 cards. War Machine, Explosive Arrow, Combat Training, She-Hulk, and a Sonic Arrow. And Spider Woman. And the Night Nurse, Venom Blast, Finesse, and a Defensive Stance, and Immunity. So getting both of these early is nice. So Zola starts out by putting 2 threat out here. I've got my little reminder token that I've got bonus things to do. We are also getting a test counter. Once that gets to 3 at this point, we'll bring out a villain for the first player. And then we already know what's happening here. Zola will attack here. We're going to let it come. Base 1. Then boost ability. Place a test counter on the main scheme. For each test counter on the main scheme, he gets +1 scheme and attack. So his base 1 is now 3 damage. Down to 10. Then attacking over here. Dealing damage to each character you control. So we'll take 1, and then he hits us for 1. And Spider-Man takes another 1. Then the Servant hits us for 1, so we're both down to 10 health. Spreading the love. And encounter cards. Shadows of the Past. All right, so things are not starting off well. We start off with Crossfire. He comes in with Quick Strike, so he's swinging for 2 already. And his attacks gain Piercing. So we'll just go down to 8. Then we're marked for death. When revealed, Clint Barton player searches their hand, deck, discard pile, and play area for Mockingbird. And I think she is still considered to be in play. When this stage is defeated, return her to her owner's hand. So I think she goes over to this one. And we get 5 threat on that. And then these 3 cards get shuffled in. And thought we had a good turn, but Zola's first turn is definitely going better. Caught off guard. Yep, discard an upgrade or support you control. we lose finesse. Well, Zola has raised the stakes. All right, Spider Woman. We're going to try bringing another finesse in play and see if that survives longer. And then for our anger, Venom Blast. Using the Night Nurse for one and finesse for the other, since this is considered an aspect. Deal 5 damage to an enemy as a hero action. Get rid of Crossfire. We'll get a bonus for playing that card. Then she will thwart for 3 over here, and he will thwart for 2. So that takes care of this 5. So Mockingbird is returned to Hawkeye's hand. Then we're going to bring in Combat Training. Play under any player's control to give him +1 attack. Then we'll go with a Sonic Arrow using the Quinn Carrier and She-Hulk. Exhaust our bow. Confuse an enemy and deal 3 damage to it. And our bow gives us range, so no retaliate going on there. Hawkeye will then attack for 4 to get rid of him. And Elektra doesn't want to get retaliated to death, so she'll just stand, ending her turn. So 2 threat going up to 4. Get another counter that takes us to 3. And when there's 3 or more test counters here, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck till a minion is discarded and put that minion into play, engage with the first player. And putting into play is not the same as revealed, so some of the abilities will not trigger. But we are going to go through our deck pretty quick this way. So Zola's Mutate, he does have a when revealed effect, but once again, he's just being put in play, so that doesn't trigger. So he's just going to be Scheme of 1, attack of 2 with 5 health. Then Zola attacks. We're just going to take it. 3 damage. Down to 7. And might as well just take 2 more. Then attacking on Hawkeye, Spider-Man will defend for 2. Then encounter cards. Get another Servant with toughness. And Servant with toughness. And I forgot to draw cards, so we'll take care of that. Over here, we've got Prowess, Cable Arrow, Strength, Piercing Strike, along with Mockingbird. And we had 5 over here. Under Surveillance, Clear the Area, Immunity, Glide, and Power Protection. And first player changes. So we're going to start with a Piercing Strike. Using Strength, deal 3 damage to an enemy. This attack gains Piercing. Discard any tough status cards from the target before dealing damage. So, yeah, we'll deal on this one. 3 damage. I'm going to bring Mockingbird in play for these 2 and the Quinn Carrier. Thwart a 2, attack of 2. When the villain initiates an attack against you, spend a resource of any type and return her to her hand. Prevent all damage from this attack. And she will finish this guy off. That's reset. Elektra will put 3 damage on him. And over here, we're going to give ourselves some immunity. Heal 3 damage and give her a tough status. So up to 8. And tough. Then we are going to play Clear the Area using Finesse. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat on that scheme, draw a card. So the Hydra Prison, when defeated, remove this scheme from the game and return each ally beneath it to its owner's hand. So we get her to her hand, and she's immediately going to help us bring in Under Surveillance. Attached to the main scheme, increase the target value of attached scheme by 4. So instead of 12, it goes to 16 now. And we play 2 different aspects. So we're going to swing to take out the mutate. And that will... Did we not do anything with Hawkeye? I think he took out someone. Oh well. Drawing 5 cards. We've got a Vibranium Arrow, Power of Aggression, Genius. Looks like the Hulk's coming out. 5 cards over here. Glide, Moon Knight, Power of Justice, Clear the Area, and her apartment. 2 threat, from 4 to 6. Bring out a counter. Zola attacks, Electra defends. 3 damage. Glad to get that out of the way. Then attacks here for 2. We lose our toughness. Then we get hit for 1, down to 7. And then in counter cards. So defensive programming. Attached to the minion with the most remaining hit points and without another copy of this card attached. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. Attached minion gets +2 hit points and gains Guard. And Pain Inhibitors. Attached to the minion with the most remaining hit points without another copy of Pain Inhibitors. You cannot gain Surge, gets +2 and hit points and retaliate. So he's just going from a 1/1 with 4 health to a 1/1 with 8 health and retaliate. First player. Oh, we're going to have Spider-Man ask him for some help. He's going to jump in with a Vibranium Arrow as a hero action. Exhausts his bow. Deals 6 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing. So we're getting rid of the tough status first. Then doing 6 damage. And it was ranged, so retaliate does not trigger. Then we will bring in Moon Knight. After you play him, we can spend a wild resource to draw 2 cards, which we will. Getting Black Widow and Inconspicuous. Then he will swing for 2, taking care of this guy. So if he doesn't live, he doesn't retaliate. Then we're going to go ahead and flip her over. Use her ability. See, the first thing is going to add an attack over here. Then bring in her apartment for 1. So exhaust this, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an aspect card and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So aspect cards is all of these. And let's see. Stunned and confused is better when he's not already confused. So we'll go ahead and take that. We're just going to use it as a resource. Shuffle this up. Oh, maybe we'll hold on to this for next turn. Right now we're going to bring in Black Widow using Finesse and the other 2. She has a thwart of 2, attack of 1. The card is revealed from the counter deck. Exhaust her and spend a mental resource. Cancel the effects of that card and discard it. Then reveal another card from the encounter deck. So she'll come in and thwart for 2. Then Jessica is going to heal 3 up to 10. Then we're going to bring Hulk in and hope he doesn't kill our people. Attack for 3. Down to 18. Trigger his ability. Allows us to do 2 extra damage. So after he attacks, discard the top card of your deck. If that card's printed value has the physical, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Down to 16. Then we take 1 for attacking and 1 for retaliate. Hawkeye will swing for 4. Down to 12. That is not protected from retaliate. Then Mockingbird will thwart for 2. And we are done. All right, I'll go ahead and keep that on this side, hoping to get a aggression card, and I'm going to keep that to stun and confusing, because I think we're just going to flip our rolls here. So 5 more cards. Inconspicuous, energy barrier, clear the area, genius, and another energy barrier. Then 4 more. All right, a quiver. That's a very much needed card. Relentless Assault, Tiger, and Piercing Strike. So we may play arrow events, attach this card as if they were in your hand. It's a hero action, exhaust this, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an arrow event, and attach it face up to this card. So 2 threat, another counter, scheming over here, losing confused, attacking over here. I'm playing with a lot of allies. Hulk can sometimes hurt us, so I think we're just going to defend with him. I think that'll be one of the first times I do that. So 2 damage on him. He's still alive. Then in counter cards, Zola's Mutate. All right, now he's revealed. So discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a tech attachment is discarded. Then attach that to him. That's possible. Okay, we got lucky with the fact it was a top card. Unlucky with it's probably one of the stronger ones. So he's going to get +2 hit points, +2 scheme, and +2 attack. And over here, concussion blasters attached to the villain. Gains retaliate 1, so he will have retaliate 2 on us. It's a hero action, exhaust your hero and spend 2 energy resources to get rid of this. It also gives him +1 attack. Hawkeye. So first thing we're going to do is use Quinn Carrier to bring in our quiver and activate that. And you can probably see what I do when I get interrupted while making a video, so I don't forget to hit record when I come back. I put a note out there and I forgot to remove that from here. So yes, sometimes I get phone calls and distractions in the middle of the game. All right, anyway, I'm back. Got my record button. Quinn Carrier, Hawkeye's Quiver. Put this into play. Use that to go searching the top 5 cards. We need to keep this in the same order. Got a cable arrow, vibranium arrow, and I think we're going to go with the vibranium arrow. And go ahead and use that. 2 resources. Exhaust our bow. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing, which we don't need. We're putting 6 damage on him, so he has 1 health left, which is the best time to hit a minion with Relentless Assault. So we're getting to our wild using physical. Deal 5 damage to minion. If you paid for this using physical, gets overkill. So he soaks up 1. And 4 breaks through, down to 8. And Mockingbird will thwart for 2. Taking a damage. Then he will attack for 4. Wait a second before he attacks. Oh, that's a hero action. I was going to have her deal with it. I guess he's just getting hit back for 2. He'll attack for 4. It's retaliated on for 2, down to 5. And then he's going to flip over. Then Jessica, we'll see what's coming up first there. A 3. And Zola's Experiments. After a minion enters play, attach the topmost tech attachment in the encounter discard pile to that minion. Interesting. Well, we'll go ahead and heal up to 13. Flip over. No, take that back a step. We're not going to recover. We're just going to flip over. Then as a hero, exhaust and spend the 2 energy resources to get rid of the blasters, because Retaliate 1 is bad. Retaliate 2, terrible. Then pheromones, because we're a genius. Hero actions, stun and confuse an enemy. Gives us a bonus. Then we're going to bring in a energy barrier, using this as a resource, and finesse. Gives us another bonus. Gets 3 counters on it. It's an interrupt when you would take any amount of damage. Remove a reflection counter from here. Prevent 1 of that damage and deal damage to an enemy. And Moon Knight will just keep this in check by thwarting for 2. And that will be our turn. Five cards, or 6. All right, we've got our first Expert Marksman, which is our resource generator, a helicarrier, energy, cable arrow, electric arrow, and sonic arrow. So pretty good stuff. Then 5 cards on this side. Quake, Clea, Daredevil, or Glide, and Pheromones again. 2 threat, 3rd counter. So go looking for a minion. Guess we've beaten them all up. Nope. Berserk Mutate. Schema 0, attack of 2. He's got quick strike. Fortunately, we're not in hero mode, so he's not going to hit us. 3 health on him. Then scheming on this side, confused and 0. Then attacking over here and stunned. Some counter cards. Vibranium armor attached to the villain. After he takes damage, give it a tough status card. Exhaust your hero and spend 2 physical resources to discard this. That's annoying because that's one I'm likely to forget, so I'll stick that there. And defensive programming attached to a minion in play. He's getting +2 hit points and guard. The first player moves. Reset. Well, exhaust. 2 physical resources. Get rid of the armor. See, what do we get rid of there? All right, we're going to use our pheromones again. Using that for 1 to stun and confuse the villain. Moon Knight is going to attack for 2. Then Clint is going to recover for his 3 + 1. So up to 9. Then flipping over, using our quiver, we found an explosive arrow. Exhausts his bow, deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. We will use Sonic Arrow to bring in Expert Marksman. It's all set to generate a wild resource for an arrow event. So we'll go ahead and use that to pay for the arrow. Exhausting our bow to deal 3 damage to villain and each minion engaged with us. And even though that had guard, this is not an attack event. So down to 1. Then we'll go ahead and bring in a helicarrier. For those 3. So as an action, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays this phase by 1. And now do I want to take him to the next level now or wait? Because with my luck, if I attack with Hulk, he's still going to do a damage to everyone else. Mockingbird has better things to do, but she'll do it. She'll attack for 2 to take him to the next level. So the next level, Schema 2, attack of 2, still has Retaliate 1. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the test subject side scheme and reveal it. 14 health per player. So 28. And what am I looking for again? Test subjects. So we had that in our discard pile. It's coming in with 4 threat on it. It gives us another encounter card, which is bad. So yeah. When defeated, the first player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until they discard a minion and reveal that minion. And we will end our turn. We will keep Quake. I like having minions available. Drawing 4 more. Venom Blast, Heroic Intuition, Jessica Jones, and Brother Voodoo. And we'll keep the arrow in hand and draw 4 more over here. Melee, Spider-Girl, Expert Marksman, and Melee. So 2 threat. Add a counter. And of course, this has 4 on it. Stunned over here. Attacking here, Hulk's going to take it 2, 3, 4 damage. So defend it with Hulk twice. And we get encounter cards +1. Deal 1 damage to each friendly character. Well, I don't want to spend that for something worse to come up. So she'll take a damage, disappear. She'll take a damage, but we're going to redirect. And Hawkeye takes a damage. Then Villain Schemes. Lose Confused. And Power Gauntlets. Attach the villain. After the villain attacks and damages you, discard a card from your hand. Hero action, spend a mental and physical resource to discard this card. And first player moves. So Hawkeye will go seeing if in the bottom 3 cards he has an arrow, and he does not. So we are going to use Quinn Carrier. So bring in our other expert marksman. Then we're going to use both of those to play an electric arrow. You see here. Yep. Stun an enemy and deal 3 damage to it. So stunned, down to 24. Then we will attack with Hawkeye for 4 damage, down to 20. He gets retaliated on, down to 7. Then Spider-Girl's coming in. Oops. After you play Spider-Girl from your hand, stun and confuse a minion. We don't have any, but she will thwart for 1. And we'll go ahead and flip him over. Then he'll make the next card she plays 1 cheaper. So Brother Voodoo, use that for 1. Finesse for the other. Helicarrier. So he comes in with a cost of 3. After he enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event card and add it to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So is there an event here? Yes. Momentum Shift. Oh yeah, and shuffle. It's not going to matter. Bonus. Then we're going to go for Venom Blast. It's an attack, deal 5 damage to an enemy. Down to 15. And we get retaliated on. Then Voodoo will thwart for 2. And she will thwart for 4. Which we are revealing a minion or discarding until we find a minion. So hopefully we don't find one here. But we did. And he gets revealed. So we're also looking for tech. We did not find tech, and when discarding, if you don't find what you're searching for, we stop. So he's just coming in as is, but we do accelerate some things and shuffle. And that's pretty much going to end our turn, I think. So damage here, and we're done. We will keep Quake over here. 6 cards, first 3 gets us an encounter card and shuffle. So we get 3 more cards coming our way. Got a Sonic Arrow, Energy, Melee, Downtime, Piercing Strike, and White Tiger. And 2 cards over here. So we get 2 more after we shuffle and get an encounter card. All right, villain. 3 threats, so we're up to 5. Get another counter here. Attacking, stunned. This guy swings. Actually, he's not attacking, sorry, scheming for 2. Place a test counter on the main scheme. So that's up to 3, but it only triggers at the beginning of the turn, I believe. So after resolving step 1, place counter here. Then if there are 3 or more, discard. So yeah, I think that just triggers at that 1 point. So going from 5 to 7 threat. And then he schemes for 1. Then attacking over here, we lose stun. And everyone gets 1 more encounter card. Got a mutate. He's going looking for tech, and he's probably going to find one. It's just how far down are we going to go to find it? That's armor. Well, eventually. Goodness. There we go. Just a few cards. So he's getting +2 hit points and retaliate. And +2 hit points and guard. And over here, the villain schemes. So base 2, 4. Trade that in for a 5. So we're up to 12, but fortunately we go to 16. And then the villain gets retaliate 1. And first player moves. I didn't finish drawing my cards over there. We got 2 more coming. Energy Barrier and Venom Blast. And with that guard ability, I don't know if we're going to be able to get out of this one this round. We'll go ahead and bring in Shang-Chi. We can pay a energy resource to stun an enemy. But we're not going to. We will exhaust our hero and spend 2 energy resources to remove the blasters. Then use Finesse and Spycraft for Venom Blast to do 5 damage to an enemy, taking him down to 10. And we take a damage back, which we will redirect back to him, down to 9. So I need to do 7 to him and then 9 over here, which I don't know how that's going to happen. So he'll just, well, I also don't want that flipping. He will thwart for 2, just in case I can't pull it off. And in case something else happens, he'll thwart for 2. He takes 2 damage for doing that. So we're done there. To stand a chance, we can't recover, so we're just going to flip over and hope. Use our quiver. There we go, Vibranium Arrow. That's going to help us. So he will attack for 4. So he's got retaliate. We don't have to worry about him. That's a guy with guard. 4 damage. Spider Girl attacks him for 2 more. So 6 out of 7. White Tiger comes in. To play her, we expend a mental resource, remove 3 threat from a scheme. Which I don't think we need to do. She'll attack for 1, which will put the 7 damage on him that's needed. Then we can, let's see, make our next card 1 cheaper. Using energy for a melee, so that's our 3 resources. So hero action, deal 3 damage to an enemy, then deal 3 damage to another enemy. We'll put 3 on him, 3 over here. We're retaliated on. Yep, should have used him to attack over here instead of thwarting, but what's done is done. So we'll use Quinn Carrier for downtime, deal 3 damage to an enemy. So that takes him to 6 out of 7. Then we're going to use our Vibranium Arrow, paying for that with these 2. Exhauster Bow, deal 6 damage to an enemy. And that takes down Zola. So he is defeated with Hawkeye and Spider Woman. So for our victory conditions here, each player engaged with an enemy records they are engaged with an enemy in a campaign log. So Hawkeye is engaged. The Hydra Prison Side Scheme is still in play. Record the name of each ally underneath of it. It's not in play, so nothing to worry about there. The Hydra Prison Side Scheme is not in play. Each player in hero form may replace their basic condition upgrade with its improved side. So we were both in hero form when we ended. So our basic will be upgraded. So for recovery, we're getting the same stats, but we have a response. After you use your recovery, exhaust this card to draw a card. And the basic thwart goes to improve. So after you defeat a side scheme, exhaust this card to draw a card. So 1 hit point away from getting the other thing. I just didn't feel like going in another round. So now for deck construction. For Hawkeye and his aggression, we have 2 power of aggression, combat training, martial prowess, just because most of his arrows are attack events, 3 relentless assaults, 3 piercing strikes, 3 melees, Spider-Girl, She-Hulk, Tigra, Valkyrie, and Hulk for allies. And for our basic cards, we've got our 3 resources. And for helping with resources, Quinn Carrier and a Helicarrier. 2 more allies with Lockjaw and War Machine. And 3 random cards just to help out. Target acquired, downtime, and endurance. And for Spider Woman, Justice, got 1 power of Justice, under surveillance, Spycraft, Heroic Intuition, 3 clear the areas. Then for allies, Quake, Spider-Man, Agent Coulson, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones. And with protection, power protection, 3 energy barriers, 3 momentum shifts, Night Nurse, defensive stance, and then Brother Voodoo, Black Widow, and Clea. And basic cards are just the 3 resources. So that's my deck construction. As always, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.